This JK Adventure video is part 2 for the installation of the new MetalCloak 3.5-inch Game Changer suspension kit, including the innovative 6-pack shocks. This video covers the installation of the rear suspension. This lift kit is being installed on this 2008 Jeep Wrangler JK. As you can see here, the shocks, track bar, and springs have been removed and the sway bar was disconnected. The rear control arms need to be set to the proper length as indicated in the instructions. I first installed the rear upper control arms using the stock hardware. The stock nuts with the attached arms really make things easier. The use of a floor jack to maneuver the angle of the axle is very helpful. Here, the other side of the upper control arm is installed. MetalCloak provides a new lower shock mount which is set up specifically for the 6-pack shocks. This mount requires 3 holes in the control arm bracket. I installed the bracket in the existing 2 holes and marked the location for the drilling of the 3rd hole. The bracket is then removed and the 3rd hole punched and drilled to the appropriate size. I used 2 different bit sizes followed by a stepped bit. Now reinstall the shock bracket using the supplied hardware. This is much easier to do prior to installing the lower control arms. The lower rear control arms come next. These may take some persuasion to get into place depending on how beat up your control arm brackets are. The stock hardware is reused front and rear. Bolt the bump stop extension onto the bump stop pads on the axle using the supplied hardware. Install the new rear springs between the axle and the upper perch. Next is the MetalCloak rear track bar. Once you have measured and set it to approximately the same length as the one you removed, bolt it into place. You will want to take measurements after the vehicle is back on its tires on the ground and make necessary adjustments to its length. Reconnect the rear sway bar using the links and supplied hardware. As you can see, there is a spot on the link to use a wrench to keep the stud from spinning. Special note: although in this video the sway bar link tab has been cut off the control arm mount brackets, the MetalCloak shock mounts are not designed to withstand the possible lateral force generated by the shocks and sway bar. I later welded tabs back onto the brackets to support the side of the shock bracket and sway bar. The shocks are now ready to be installed. The kit comes with the T-pin to mount the upper side of the shock. Be sure to put the correct length spacers on the correct sides as indicated in the directions. The blocks bolt into the stock mounting locations. The bottom of the shock then gets installed in the new shock brackets. Once again, make sure you get the spacers on the right side. As with the front shocks, it takes some practice when it comes to securing the shocks in the correct position. The learning curve is short though, and you will have it mastered very quickly. Here is what the lower shock mount should look like completely installed. With my current setup, I was unable to use the MetalCloak track bar bracket. Their bracket does a great job of moving the track bar up and keeping it from hitting the diff cover. The design of their track bar makes it possible to get the maximum suspension up travel without interference. Once I installed my new rear axle, I made use of the MetalCloak track bar bracket. If you follow in my footsteps, I want to congratulate you on installing one of the most innovative lift kits on the market. I am sure that, like me, you will be very impressed with how it performs, as you can see here. Keep an eye on jkadventure.com for updates on this lift kit and other helpful installation videos. Thanks for watching.